Well, hello everybody. Dr. Bryant here, and this is Car Chronicles. How you guys doing? You doing all right? Well, all right. Come on, let's get started. Remember in yesterday's video, I told you I was going to go back and talk about this anger, this uncontrolled anger. And a lot of you, and I talked about in the video about how a lot of you grew up or have been with a narcissist, even in a romantic situationship in which you were not allowed to have emotions, or you grew up in a household where you were not allowed to have emotions. Now, emotions are a natural thing. Everybody's happy, everybody, gets sad, everybody has anger. Those are natural emotions, and you can't deny those emotions. When you have been offended or if you have been hurt, you're going to get angry because you feel like I was offended. I was hurt, and sometimes sadness and depression mixed up together, and you have anger. You have anger. But when you have been told or made to feel like you're crazy for having emotions, and some of you actually grew up like that. You may not have been able to put words to it, but you were made to feel like you were crazy because of the fact that you have emotions. You have responses to things that happen to you. If you do something, you make me angry. It's what I do in my anger that is right or wrong. And in my anger, I may decide to separate myself from you so that it doesn't get out of control, and I may do something in reaction to you. The reaction part, the hitting or, doing something because I'm angry, that part right there. What do you do when you're angry? And for some of you, there's nothing wrong. See, a narcissist won't let you walk away. A narcissist won't allow you. You're thinking to yourself, give me a minute, let me get away from you, and let me get my thoughts together. That's just like when I used to talk to couples. When you're angry and you're in the heat of the moment and you're arguing back and forth, you have to be able to take a break and come back to the conversation later. When all the attitudes have went down, when the anger has subsided, and you guys can think logically, rationally, and then you may come back and that person like, you know what? I reacted. I was offended. I was hurt. I reacted wrong. I said a lot of things that was probably there, and I'm sorry. I apologize, and you can come back rationally. Both of you guys can apologize, but when you're in the heat of the anger, you can't do a lot in the heat of anger. It takes a moment to walk away and calm down. A narcissist won't let you do that. A narcissist will not allow you. Think about it. Some of you guys know for a fact they've made you angry. They've offended you. You've caught them doing something again, or you may have caught them and you're angry, and you have the right to be angry, and you're like, you know what? Don't follow me, leave me alone, let me be by myself so I can think. And then they follow you all over the house. They follow you into the bathroom. Wherever you go, they want to talk. And the more that they talk, the bigger your anger gets. You're like, why won't you give me my space? They won't give you space. They're like right here. A lot of you guys know you try to go to sleep. They want to keep talking, because they want what they want. And what they want is for you to stop being angry. Because, I've already apologized. They apologize and they expect you to stop being angry immediately. That's not how things work. That's not how things work. But once they apologize, they're looking at you like, now you're supposed to stop. No, what it is you don't want to have to deal with the aftermath of, there are consequences to people's actions. And some of those consequences to people's actions is the fact that a person will get angry or may cut you off and decide, I'm not going to put up with this toxicity. I put my boundaries up and I refuse to allow myself to go through this with you. I'm not going to go through this. And you guys have the right to do that. But a narcissist will not give you the right to do that. And so a lot of times you also, if you've been taught that your emotions are wrong, that you're not allowed to have emotions and you're not allowed to have responses or reactions and get space from them. They tell you, no, we're a couple, or no, that you don't get away from me. We talk it out until we can figure it out. Well, shoot, talking it out is making me angry and making me, and some of you will get to the point where you start hating them. That's wrong. And so, the thing is that you have been told that your emotions are wrong. And some of you walk around with repressed anger because you were never allowed to express yourself. You're never allowed to talk it out. You're never allowed to say that you're angry or you're offended because you were made to feel wrong, whether it's parents or whether it's a narcissist. So you have repressed anger. And a lot of that repressed anger is anger that has been denied or avoided. You've avoided getting angry. You've avoided, denied that you were angry. And so what you say is, I'm hurt. I'm all right. It's going to be okay. Things happen. I forgive you. That's all over with. Because a narcissist doesn't look at forgiveness when you say, I forgive. They want you to say, I forgive you, because they want you to forget about it and let them keep doing what they're doing. I need you to act like you were acting before. I need you to keep giving me what you were giving before. And if you're angry and if you're offended, you're not going to keep doing it. I've already apologized, so you need to let it go and you need to forget. Okay, listen, there's no such thing as forgiving and forgetting. there's a such thing as forgiving, but not forgiving and forgetting. Forgetting means you have amnesia, and none of us have amnesia, or I wouldn't be making videos like this. You can forgive, but you never forget the incident that has happened or the things that they've done. Because in not forgetting means that now I can put in some boundaries and put things in place to prevent this from happening again. You know, when you hear people say the first time, shame on you, the second time, shame on me. Because if I keep letting it happen, that means that I'm not putting up my boundaries. You know, the first time, you know what, you made a mistake. Maybe it was an error. I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you that. But if you do it again, that lets me know that you weren't really sorry or apologetic for what you've done. You just wanted me to shut up and continue. No, you wanted me to forget about it so that you can keep doing the same thing over and over again. That I can forgive you and then have nothing else to do with you. I can forgive you and cut you off forever. Then look at the anger for a minute. You have to look at your anger. Anger can turn into rage, and rage causes that adrenaline. Those are two different emotions, but it can turn into rage. And those emotions are when you get into rage, rage becomes uncontrollable. And a lot of times rage comes from, you know, you harping on the thing and turning it over and dwelling on it over and over and over and over again. And you just get angry and angry. And it gets to a point where it builds up and becomes explosive. Because in rage, people cannot control what they're doing. You have road rage. You have people that have been unalived in rage. And they go to court and, you know, it's a momentary of insanity. They're in the emotions, whatever, they blacked out. Because in rage, you can black out too and do a lot of things that you didn't realize that you could do. Remember the Johari's window? And in the Johari's windows, there's things that you don't know about yourself that other people don't know about you as well. And that can happen in that moment of rage. Another thing, when you're dealing with repressed anger or you dealing with rage, if you've noticed, a lot of you may have back problems. One of the things that I was reading was that a lot of anger and rage or repressed anger is held in the back. So a lot of you are dealing with back issues, nerve issues. And a lot of that also comes from, you know, sadness, depression, rejection, the fear of abandonment, rejection. You know, these are some things are rooted in childhood as well. What are you angry about? Everybody always leaves me. I'm always rejected. You're always trying to make people love you. And a narcissist is not going to feed in and give you that. You know, when they tap in and figure out what hurts you the most, that's the thing they keep tapping and keep tapping. You know, but a lot of you are walking around with this repressed anger because you don't know how to express it. That's why it's good to get to a therapist. And a lot of you are dealing with the grief and loss of something that you put value to, you know, and you're dealing with this repressed anger. And some of you need to say, I am mad as hell, because you need someone to get the hell out of you, or that hell inside of you is going to tear you up from the inside out, because that repressed anger or that anger that turns into rage is causing that burst of adrenaline inside of your system. And you're all of a sudden now with the amygdala, you're dealing with the fight, flight, or freeze response. And so you're constantly on the move. You're angry. You're smash. You become the Hulk smash. You know, you're doing things that rage becomes uncontrollable. You cannot control that rage. You thought you had control of it, and now you have lost control. And people that are enraged do things that get themselves in trouble, that causes them to be in the court or in jail. But listen, there are many people that tell you that you don't need to forgive. To be unforgiving means to hold yourself hostage. You're drinking poison expecting the other person to be unalived. You are holding yourself hostage. And you remember, it's a power and control thing. Anytime that a person still has control of your emotions, where they can keep you enraged or angry or I'll never forgive them, they still have control. To release that and say, I forgive them, but I don't have anything else to do with them. Because forgiveness does not mean that I have to reconnect with you in any kind of way, because I've learned my lesson. I would never connect with you again. I would never have anything to say. I'm not coming to your funeral. I'm not coming to family reunions. I'm not doing nothing with you, because I'm gonna keep my peace of mind, and I would never allow you to have that much control over me ever again. And you can't let them manipulate you, because when you forgive is letting them, you're cutting the tie. Because as long as you're not forgiving, they're always running around in your head rent free. Forgiveness is a thing, it's a process, and it doesn't happen all of a sudden. You can speak it out of your mouth, but it's not something that happens suddenly. So just know that that is a process, and it may require you to get with a therapist to help you process through the grief and loss, through the emotionals, through the repressed anger, through what's happening in your body, because you have to say, I refuse to allow someone to tear my body up like that by having me sit here and be angry and bitter for the rest of my life. You've already done enough damage, and I'm done with you, and I am now free. That's what hurts them the most.